looked, and the weather in Vegas is still like 60s, so it's like, fuck.
Yeah. The
Gonna get
thing
my
that you
tan
gotta
that I
worry
need.
about this time of the year in Vegas is the wind. The wind during this time of the year is no bueno.
Yeah, the group I'm going with is either like some of them are from England, some of them are from Toronto, and Vegas for us, like we've done the rodeo,
That
like
used to be a weekend.
you
Like,
know, for
you're
real,
going to
real
Vegas
talk.
for the weekend, yeah.
Dude, a turnaround, like a
Mhm.
one-nighter even. So they're talking about like, oh, do we want to get bottle service here? Do we want to get a lounge
And
for
you're
the
just
pool
like,
party
we are not
here?
from the same cloth.
I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to spend $500
No,
to
it
have
gets
us
and I'm sure it's more expensive right now too.
like this season, or what do you mean? Or
Just
just this
like
time of year?
well,
Paris.
not this time of year, but just yeah, kind of like how the economy is going right now. It's
It's never a good time in the economy. Fuck capitalism. Let's try something else. It's not working. No.
it
Well,
works for
whatever.
the people who are in power. That's why it'll never change.
Yes.
Welcome to
Yes.
Seeing This.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Today we are talking The Monkey.
I'm actually so excited we did this movie. Like,
Are you interested?
I was
I don't know if I
really
was
like,
expecting that.
well, regardless of how I feel about the movie, I was excited to do it for a
Well,
pod.
now that you've had your Chinese food for dinner, you're feeling better. you're in a better place.
I'm happy now.
But it is what it is. The word of the Lord. I'm the movie Mamba Mike Larnellis. On the call, I have the feisty picey Erica McMullen.
Who is
How are you?
surviving this? Oh, so what are we doing? Are we doing it when you're saying our names? I thought that was the
Yeah,
thing.
excellent. Great job. Just bake it into your introduction just like that.
No, but really though,
Right.
who is surviving this? That's my quote.
Yeah, excellent quote. Excellent quote. And the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno.
Yes,
you
sir.
doing?
Yes, sir. I put turn the key and someone's gonna have a real bad day.
You see, keep in mind, listen, folks listening, we're trying to experiment with our format here. But you don't want to say I wrote down. You just bake it into your conversation, like,
I had to write it down. I had to write it down.
Yeah. Just to reference it. Gotta look that. Anyways, we're talking The Monkey. Clearly, we had a great time with this one. It was directed by Osgood Perkins, director of Longlegs. We'll get into that in a bit. But just to cover some ground of things we've seen this week, Adrian, you want to kick us off? What have you seen at home, in theater, wherever, TV? What's good?
So I rewatched a series called Tacoma FD, and I think everybody should watch it. It is absolutely comedy. Quick 30-minute episodes, but they're so funny. It's the guys from Super Troopers created a show where there are firefighters in Tacoma, Washington.
can
And
only
the
imagine.
shenanigans that go on. Oh yeah, it's full of shenanigans. It's funny.
It's like the Reno 911 for the fire department, right? More or less.
Nice.
Correct.
Yeah, you try to put me onto that. Yeah, listen, with all due respect, it's a little bit of a brain off.
For sure.
It's
For sure.
But yeah, it's fine. Okay. And you said you rewatched it, so you've seen the whole series already.
Yeah, I've seen like three seasons. I think they might be a fourth.
Okay, it's like a comfort show.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny.
Right.
Me and my kids watch it. It's not a kid show, by the way. My kids are grown.
Keeping the trauma going. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious.
Erica, what have you seen this week?
I finally watched the first episode of Severance.
All right.
Yeah, so like I finally was like, just put it on, like study for your test, like have it in the background. But like it was something that I could actively, if I needed to look up, it was a good break from studying for my test. So I was like, okay, look up, watch it. Loved it. Like I'm really excited about it. I had talked to a friend about watching it, and she was like, there were some points that were a little bit predictable, and you'll kind of like see that. But so far, so good. I kind of already like have a feeling they're going to be doing like a twist every episode. So
Now it's so hard nowadays with social media and just everything to like completely block out any information about
yeah,
shows like
so I've
that,
seen like clips and memes, but I absolutely had no idea what the show was about going into it. So it ended up being okay for the most part.
You'll have to keep us updated of your thoughts as you progress. So
Yeah.
one for one, you're good. A couple things I saw. I started a new show, The Studio, that's out on Apple Plus. This is Seth Rogen's new show, where he is ultimately a new movie producer, a new executive producer, and is the one kind of calling the shots for different movies to be made. He's
Mhm.
actually he loves movies. He's like, one of us, if you will, that wants a good movie. But that's not what the studio is going to provide. So he's got
Yeah.
to tell the people he loves that he can't make it their movie or whatever the case may be. But it's funny because it's Seth Rogen. Martin Scorsese is in the first episode. A lot of people playing themselves. 2 episodes out so far, and I'm enjoying it. Have you caught that one yet, Erica?
I have not. No.
No.
Like
Okay.
I said, I need if I start one show, I need to focus on that show
Yeah.
so I don't get
No, that's fair.
distracted. Um,
That's fair.
Yeah.
I also, just before recording this, went to the movies and I went to go see Flying Lotus's movie, Ash.
okay.
Yeah, I was, I got to a movie early last week and I popped my head into Ash to see, I'm Flying Lotus. I like his music. Are you guys familiar with Flying Lotus?
It
No?
sounds
No?
familiar, but I'm not sure.
Check him out. He's like kind of like a lo-fi beat, psychedelic kind of music.
Probably very much like him.
He actually did the theme for Adult Swim,
Oh, cool.
like during the late nights or whatever.
You know what? I'm gonna age myself, and I have an iPod, like an old 64 gig iPod with like 4,000 songs on there. And shout out to our buddy Manuel because he loaded his entire music catalog on there.
It sounds like a
And
manual move.
I feel like half of it I was like trying to delete, and I feel like Flying Lotus was on there, like
Yeah.
definitely on there.
Yeah, that's part of the Manny mix for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, I was debating like before watching it. Like I said, I saw like the first 5 minutes and then I went to my movie. And I was intrigued. It was enough to be like, okay, what's going on here? It's really interesting. By the end of it, I'll put it this way: I enjoyed the monkey more. So was
Excuse
that
me.
easy or hard to do? I
Wow.
don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But in good news, I did find my future wife, Isa Gonzalez, who plays the lead in this movie. I think I shared a couple
For all of you
texts
who
with you
are
guys.
listening, we have not heard the end of how much he is in love with her.
I just really appreciate actresses that are proud to be Mexican Americans and just really are talented
Like, and if
on
you're
screen.
already hot and then you claim that, it does make you hotter. It does.
Speaking of hot, she was on Hot Ones.
Oh, cool.
And check it out. Check it out. Great job there. Anyways, we're here to talk about The Monkey, a Stephen King adaptation released 3 weeks ago. So you can catch it out in theaters before it comes to video on demand. Some names who are in the movie: Theo James, Tatiana Maslany. Sorry if I butchered that. Christian Convery, Colin O'Brien. And I won't say the rest because I think they're kind of like cameos. So
Yeah.
those are kind of the lead actors there. But at a very high level,
How
before
about we
do,
get the summary in?
that's what I was just gonna say. Adrian, on it. Hey, where can everybody listen to this podcast?
Spotify.
The Monkey. Here's the tagline: everybody dies, and that's fucked up. When twin brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey, a series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a killing spree, forcing the estranged brothers to confront the cursed toy. So that's The Monkey. I think that's actually pretty accurate summary. Pretty good there. High level. Adrian, what did you think?
All right, so everybody knows by now I'm not a horror guy.
I think everybody knows by now you are a horror guy.
So I enjoyed it. I really liked this movie. I had fun. I like the twin aspect. I really enjoyed the lead actor, Theo James.
Mm.
I
What a voice!
again,
What a voice on that guy, huh?
yeah,
He does a lot of voice
for
work.
sure.
He was actually just in X-Men '97.
It's a really good movie.
He
I
does have a great
really enjoyed
voice.
it.
I could probably listen to him for the rest of my life, like right before I go to bed and have just like the most pleasant dreams. You know, like he would like gently let you to sleep and you'd be like, "Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Like I'm going to have the best night's sleep ever." Very soothing.
Soothing voice. So it was great. You liked it.
Yeah. I think it was a good horror movie. It was something, a brain off movie for sure, and I think that's why I appreciated it and liked it, because you don't take it too serious. Like, they were trying to be comedic in certain points, but at the same time, it's a horror. It was like Chucky, you know, it's a dumb doll killing people. Like, that's it was on that level where they leaned into it, but I thought it was well done. I appreciated it because it was a little bit of ridiculous, like, Final Destination.
Yeah.
Uh, so I really did like it. It was fun.
All right. Happy to hear that. It's always good to hear that you have a good time watching a movie, you know? Erica, I'm itching to hear what you say, especially
I
after Adrian said
know.
that.
I don't know. I think I was expecting just a little bit more. There was definitely times where it felt a little predictable, which was kind of annoying. But I mean, I think the only trigger warning with this movie is like if you're not really a fan of like gore or like blood and guts, like maybe pass on this movie because the scenarios in which people were killed throughout this movie, I actually really liked. I thought they were like Adrian said, it was trying to be kind of funny, and I think with each death, it was like, oh fuck, like this is gonna be good. Like we're gonna get like some real creative ways on how this monkey is going to kill people. So it was
Like,
I
you're like, oh,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And like I as much as I like didn't like overall, like I'm not gonna watch this movie again, probably, but I enjoyed it while I was watching it. Like I had, like Adrian said, we had fun while you were watching this movie. You weren't supposed to take it too seriously.
Yeah, definitely not supposed to take it too seriously. Another thing you don't want to take too seriously, but I find very funny, is my next guest, my secret guest that's going to summarize my thoughts on this movie. He's good to come on here before the spoiler part because I don't think it'll spoil anything. But yeah, you might know him from a little movie. He's got a sequel coming out here, and that is Billy Madison. From Billy Madison is going to be telling you how I feel.
Grown-ups like to go out with other grown-ups.
What about Billy?
You're more of a grown-up than Billy.
I'll give you a grown-up.
What was that, Ernie?
Nothing. See you tomorrow in class, Miss Bond.
You blew it!
So, as Adam Sandler says there, as Billy Madison, you blew it. I feel like this movie had potential. The first 20 minutes, I was really in. I would say the majority of the film, when we hang out with the kid versions, I was locked in. I thought I really liked where it was going, and I did feel kind of like you're saying, Adrian, they lean into it, and I was with it. And then by the end of it, it was just so kind of like frustrating and deflating. I felt that there wasn't cohesion in parts of the story. Like it definitely wasn't concerned with like checking the boxes with continuity to make
There was a
sure
lot of
the
back and
story.
forth, and
A lot of back and forth.
and where the back and forth like came in the movie, it felt unnecessary. Like
Yeah.
if we're
Yeah.
getting into spoilers,
Yeah, we
we have to
let's
do this so
just
fast. But
well,
like,
just to speak freely, I think like you, Adrian, liked it, had a great time, brain off movie. Erica, you said you wanted more, so it sounds like it didn't meet expectations. Especially like we said, Osgood Perkins, he just made Long Legs,
which
and
I loved. I like
I,
really, really, really loved Long Legs. Like I think I liked it because of like the freaky aspect of it. And I feel like it was maybe like lacking that a little bit in this movie. Like we didn't get like maybe if it was like a little bit more I don't know, I'm trying to think of the word. Like the monkey himself could have been a little bit more evil.
I'm learning with Osgood Perkins, just between Longlegs and this movie, it's like there's a lot of potential. He taps into something that I really like, and I feel like Longlegs had a bit more procedural, almost prestige aspect to it, and then kind of faltered. Whereas this one's like, okay, let's get rid of the prestige aspect and be like almost like a B movie, almost,
Yeah.
as far as the tone they were going for. But anything else in general before we go into spoilers?
Hit the spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Well, this movie has a lot of great deaths. Let's start positive. When the movie opens, first of all, one of the names I didn't mention in this movie is Adam Scott, speaking of Severance.
I
Right?
know.
That first death where he's like is it like a pawn shop or something, right?
So I don't think
I'd
it's
say
the
so.
first
Some antique
death.
shop.
It's the first death
antique
we
shop.
see, but I don't think it's the first death that has happened while Adam Scott's
Sure.
character
Yeah,
is
yeah,
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 he's
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get
yeah.
rid of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
'cause
trying to get
Yeah,
rid of
sure,
it
sure,
because
sure.
of all the death.
But yeah,
Take the monkey
that
back.
was I loved that. Loved the opening kill. Thought that was
And
great.
He
for a
looks
movie,
at him like, "What are you talking about? Nothing's
He's
happens,"
like,
and
I don't
then
believe
bam,
you, and then yeah.
uh,
and
and
I
then it
kind of,
pulls it back like Hannibal Lecter. Oh, that's good.
yeah, I thought that really did a good job of setting the tone. Like, okay, if you want to know what this movie is going for, here you go. It's a bit
Yeah.
absurd. It's a bit graphic. It's kind of funny. So
And it's
buckle.
Adam Scott, like being a jokester at the same time. Like, don't turn that key, or all hell will break loose on us. Like,
Yeah.
it was just funny. It was comedic for sure.
Yeah, buckle up. And then it progresses, and we end up meeting these twins, right? And even from the jump, the script's talking about how, like, oh, he was older by a few minutes, and he ate the majority of the placenta. So he's the older brother, and he's like a dick, right?
Yes.
Totally.
Bill sucks.
Bill sucks. Bill's not the one.
That
He
should
was
have
the
been
left
my
brother.
one.
He was the left twin.
That should have
Yeah.
been my one-liner at the beginning. Bill sucks.
Bill sucks. Yeah, I feel like their story when they're young and kind of the deaths that come, when the mom dies with the boomerang aneurysm, I legit looked up if that's a real thing, and it says that it's not a common medical phrase, but if the imaging of an aneurysm looks like a boomerang, you could reference it.
That's
Pretty
what
much
they
it's,
call it.
I guess.
Got it.
But that's also at the point where I felt it started to fall, because it's like, well, your brain can just blow up and like that's a death. I don't know, that felt a little lazy.
And even then, like, did her brain blow up? Like,
I mean,
she like squeezed the bag and the bag popped.
I know.
So
And then
I
her-
mean,
but
you
she
couldn't
was
really tell
bleeding.
what happened. Right. So I think that was the boomerang aneurysm because it was in her eye, right? Like the
But-
blood was coming out. Like,
I get where
but-
Michael's coming from, where like an aneurysm felt really fucking lazy with the cool
Death.
murders that we already had. Like, what
Right.
if she was like chopping vegetables and like just started like chopping her hand off, or like, you know what I mean? Like, there was so many like more creative ways to go about it than just have like the monkey caused me to have an aneurysm, and
And I
it's really
think- and I-
rare in a bunch of people. Like, yeah,
I think
so-
that was the first. I think that, just like talking about it now, that's the moment where I think I've had my first like, that didn't rub me the right way. Like, I didn't like that. And then there was a few more moments like that. But Bill and his brother, what was the brother's name again? Hal. They grow up, get estranged, and they thought they'd get rid of this monkey that has killed their mom, killed their uncle, right? I think when he was young, the uncle died.
Their uncle,
The aunt
eventually
dies.
the aunt.
the ant. Yeah. The
So-
ant lights her head on fire.
So to Erica's point on like the time jumping, I was very confused on the ant part, because I thought that happened when they were young still, because they were jumping in time. But then
Yeah.
the whole
She looked
point,
older. She looked way
I
older.
guess maybe, but I missed that. Here's the thing: what the movie was trying to communicate wasn't clear in multiple areas. I think is part of the problem. So when you're trying to put together this movie, it felt very.
I think you were thinking too much.
Bro, I'm trying to follow a movie. Yeah, you got to tell me
but
a
it's not-
story. I got to
Dude,
be
it's not-
invested.
it wasn't the Sixth Sense where it's gonna have some kind of, like deep storyline. Like it's a
Give me a
monkey killing
storyline.
people.
No,
It's
I
a
don't think
robot monkey killing people.
Yeah,
Like,
I
come
really
on.
don't think it was. Obviously, I don't think it was meant to be deep, but
No.
that's where I think like Michael's continuity errors come, because like I said too, we got a lot of back and forth of where like they were going on the road trip and then they were at the house and then they were at the motel and then they had to go here and then they had to go, like there was a lot of just like jumping around, and it felt unnecessary. Like you could have essentially got rid of the entire, like, we're going to an amusement
Oh,
park.
you're right.
Like it felt so, I don't know. It just felt like, we said, the back and forth of them going everywhere because they had to be places, and like how did nobody connect the fact that like they owned that monkey at one point? You know what I mean? Like none of it came together really. Yeah, I didn't like the jumping back and forth part.
I to defend the movie a little bit. The deaths I think were relatively good. I think it does get to
The
a very
shotgun was absolutely stunning. I was like, this is
when it falls.
yes.
When
And
they
it
open the door.
splashes all over him.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that, like, there's no police. Except for like one death, the police show up.
Yeah, you
But
get
outside
one
of that,
police officer, and then all she says is, "You can't leave the town." And then nothing ever again. Nobody follows up with him.
I know. I'd be like, yo, all these people that you know have been dying. I think you need to come down to the station and talk to us.
Yeah, they're all connected to him. Like he's the common denominator for all of those people. Him and his twin would be.
Right. And they never
Yeah.
question him, investigate. I mean, again, Adrian's saying you guys are thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
that's
we go back on the other side of that, then why have it in the movie at all?
Because it's building like the characters. So it is
The police
giving you
officer
some
didn't
type of
build the
chaos.
character at all.
No, but the back and forth of all this, like, it just builds that chaos that's going on in his head because of the trauma
I guess
that
it
he's
wasn't
experienced as a kid. You
chaotic
know what I mean?
enough
Like,
for me to excuse that. You know what I mean? Like I get that you want to build the chaos and build the craziness of this killer monkey, but we didn't get that chaos until the very, very end, where he's like wrestling the monkey. Like you know what I mean? Like that was chaos. All of those deaths, like if that was the case, should have maybe happened a little earlier.
They have a short little like montage of certain deaths that like put the death count up, and
the
I
real
felt,
estate agent talking about him.
yeah, and I feel like that was kind of a cheap way of like, hey, we haven't had some deaths or action in a while. We need to like insert it, and they just like put it in there to like, because there's certain stretches where like nothing really happens. Like he's trying to figure out like action wise, like if we want this brain off, gory comedy, dark comedy, like give that to us. I think the problem is I didn't really find it that funny. Like I had a couple moments of like with a death, I
Like
might have
the
laughed.
deaths were funny.
Like the deaths were funny, but like outside of that, I think there's some lines they might have thought would have landed with audiences. Like they were trying to be funny, and I don't know.
I think so, because it just sounds like you guys just didn't dig it. Because some of the stuff they did, it was similar to like Zombieland, and I'm under the assumption Zombieland's like a great movie, and like they did the exact same thing where they just cheaply cut to some of the, like kill of the year, and it's dropping a piano on us.
But it's funny.
Granted,
that comes
I
down to
just
the
think
writing.
they're trying to do the same thing. They were doing the same thing, and they were somewhat funny. Like even as soon as like the ant dying, like her hair catches her whole head catches on fire. Why would her face be on fire? You know what I mean? Just like
she
burning,
was putting
like,
alcohol on her
cuts.
Yeah,
right. Alcohol's not gonna just stay burning. Like it burns off and then stops. Sure. So again, it's a movie, a brain off movie that I think you guys were looking a little too deep in, wanting more of it. But they're leaning into one. It's a horror about a toy monkey massacring people. Like, come on, how realistic and how deep do you really want this movie to be?
I get what you're saying, but I think what I would counter and saying is like when you do take the time to think of writing and invest in a story that is funny and cohesive, it just makes the movie that much better. Like you can have a brain off movie, like Zombieland was a good example of that, where it's like ridiculous. Obviously, this isn't in like a realistic world, but it's still funny because like there's a certain craft that was given to the writing, I think. But I don't know. End of the day, it was an okay movie. I thought the monkey.
Hey, we're progressing. You guys went from didn't like it to now it's okay.
That's I mean,
I'm doing my job. I'm doing
I
my
said
job.
I
That's
was
all.
hangry
That's all.
earlier. I think I was just mad that I hadn't eaten yet.
you're doing a job of feeding us the slop, back to the slop that we get fed with these movies.
I'm bringing you back down to reality, you know?
Did Eric? You mentioned the shotgun kill. Was that your favorite one?
No. Well, it was for the majority of the movie. I was like, this is great. But when the bowling ball at the very end takes
Yeah.
out Bill,
Yeah.
but then the fact that it's the bowling ball that he wanted to murder Bill with when they were younger, like it was his mom's bowling ball, like that was so chef's
Lois.
kiss. Like I absolutely loved that one, and then the Benihana like
Yeah.
throat
The
slice, like
Benihana one
him
was
Short head off.
decapitating her. That was fucking wild,
that was good.
wild.
I liked the Benihana one because I feel like that's the most relatable one because we've all been to like a teppanyaki, kind of
Yes,
style restaurant, and it's like shit could go down here. And
yeah.
Adrian, you mentioned Final Destination. I wish they would have leaned. I mean, outside of the first and maybe a couple other deaths, the red herring of like leading you to think something else is going to kill them. You know what I mean? Like you think they're going to die some other way.
Oh,
They
like
kind of got
maybe
away
give
from
a little
that
bit more of that.
a little. Yeah, but then is that
Like a more
biting final?
tease.
Is that or just like how's it gonna? I think that's part of the humor is like, oh, you think she's gonna
You
light
think
herself
it
on
goes
fire?
one
Well,
way,
that's
but
not
it
gonna
actually
happen.
goes the other.
Yeah. And granted, that's Final Destination, but I feel they really pulled from that. And maybe it's fresh on the mind because we just watched it. Check out our bonus episode for Back to the Futures, folks. You're able to see that.
I'd
Final
love to
Destination.
read the book maybe and see how it compares.
I was thinking of that, like, as I was watching. I was like, how much does this divert
Because I've
from
read some
the book?
Stephen King books where I've seen the movie, and the books are like 20 times more fucking scary. Like,
Yeah.
there's some books, and it like even this isn't Stephen King, but even Coraline, that book is terrifying.
Oh, really?
That book, if they had made it anything other than the stop motion that they did, I think people would have been absolutely fucking terrified of this movie. But I think them making it into our cartoon helped it. So that's where I think like sometimes too, depending on how the book is written, because obviously like Stephen King, like very, very, very staple man in horror writing.
Yeah.
And so it's not that it's hard to adapt his books into movies because we've seen it successfully done multiple times. However, I think there's always a bit of like caution of like wanting to make sure that you don't deviate too far from what the original story is. So I'd be curious to like read the book and see
Yeah.
how much different it ended up being.
Didn't you tell us in another episode that you read that Stephen King went to the premiere of this
He
movie
loved
and he came
it.
out like,
Or he had,
dang, that was
yeah,
good.
he
Oh,
had seen
really?
it when it had first
Yeah.
come out, and he said he absolutely loved it. So
He also famously hated The Shining, so
no, and
tough
that is a book where if you've read it and then seen The Shining, there are some very key differences
for
from
sure,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
The sequel's a little bit more true to the tone of The Shining, right?
Yes, Dr. Sleep
Dr.
gave a
Sleep.
little bit closer to what the book actually.
I want to rewatch
I
that.
really like Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I got
That
to
one was
rewatch
good.
that.
Yeah.
That was good. Favorite Stephen King adaptation? Do we have one?
It's pretty good, man.
It?
Yeah.
Which
It
movie?
is pretty good.
Who's on first? Yeah.
I don't like Pet Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pet
I feel
Cemetery
like
terrified me as a kid.
I hope we're not having a stoner moment and repeating ourselves because I feel like we might have talked about this because then we talked about the Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption.
Uh-huh.
No, maybe
Oh,
not.
you know what? Maybe
Nonetheless.
we did. Maybe I said it was the Green Mile because we did have this conversation.
Stephen King, he's hot on this spot. I felt
We
like
love
this
you,
is familiar
Stephen
actually.
King.
This is familiar. Uh, one other gripe that Adrian's not gonna like. I wish we would have, because it was so important to the story, or the attempted story. I wish we would have got more about like the estrangedness of Hal and his son. Like we got no insight as to like what that dynamic was. The other weird cameo casting of Elijah Wood, who is like this
The
parenting,
stepdad.
like
He's
a
gonna be the
parenting
Love
stepdad.
guru
Elijah
who's
Wood,
gonna
dude. Another
who's
man who
gonna
just takes freaky little roles and does
yeah, yeah,
whatever he
yeah.
wants. Love it.
You gotta watch Babylon. He's in there.
I
Oh
should.
no, that's not Elijah Wood. I'm just kidding. Different one, but it's a cameo. Another freak. But I wish that we would have got more because I didn't. I like it. We just had to take,
Like, we
you
understand
know,
why. We understand
at
that
face
Hal
value.
doesn't want, because Hal thinks it's him, where
Uh-huh.
in reality it's somebody who's spinning the monkey. Like they're spinning the key. So it essentially he's done it. I think he realizes at the end that he can spend time with his son. He's going to spend time with his son because he doesn't really need to be worried that it's him. It is the monkey.
But I think the issue that I have is that so much time had passed, and obviously this monkey is like in their life, and we don't understand the dynamic between Hal and his like presumed ex-wife or girlfriend or baby
Baby
mom,
mama.
whatever. What's that relationship like? And even the Elijah Wood guy, like I think that's a good example of like they're trying to insert that to be funny.
And it just came out of nowhere. It
It
just
just
came
came
out of
out of
left
nowhere.
field.
It didn't pay off
Yeah.
later at all.
Yeah,
Like
no follow
we
up.
never. It could have been any stepdad situation. You know
Yeah.
what I
Right,
mean?
like that stepdad needed to die. Like for sure when the kid turned the key
Would have added
and the
so much to
stoner
the
in the
movie.
car died, instead of the stoner in the car dying, if it was like Ted and the stepmom and the mom like being massacred, and now he has to live with the estranged
That would
dad,
have
that
been
would have been
a great,
the
like,
banger.
after
Yeah.
scene credit where he goes to drop off the kid and both his
Sure.
step-parents have been killed in freak accidents. Like,
Yeah.
that would have added, like, there's, like, that, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
without that, they did that whole scene kind of
yeah,
felt pointless. Like
yeah.
I agree with you on that. Like that
Mhm.
whole scene rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, what the hell was the point of all that?
Yeah. What
If
was that?
like
Like I was waiting
just
for it
to
to come full
explain that he might
circle.
lose his son, that and he's okay with it, like, but he's not okay with it. He's kind of getting punked out of it. But
Yeah.
I get it. Like,
You
it just
imagine
rubbed me the wrong way.
you're about to lose your son. It's probably for the best. It's probably for the best. You
I
know,
mean, and the kid,
not
rightfully
good.
so, is like, fuck you, Hal. Like, what the
Mhm.
hell? Like,
Yeah.
rough.
Petey. So apparently Adam Scott, his character name is like Captain or Sergeant Petey. So he's a Petey also. So
He was
what?
a junior
So is he
grandpa,
Hal and Bill's dad or
father.
grandpa? Father, because they mentioned
Their
like grandpa
dad,
was a
yeah,
captain or
'cause
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
he is the one who left Lois.
Well, he tried to burn
No,
the
he
Monkey with the
did, and
flamethrower.
it
monkey.
can't be destroyed.
So it was just in the house again. Is that what happened afterwards?
I really appreciated that scene where he chops the monkey and it's bleeding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
well,
was good.
where, like, it has, like,
He-
actual blood coming
what?
out.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was tricky.
I mean, you kind of
Where,
hinted at it.
yeah.
You kind of hinted at the death of the fake cop, the guy that tries to. He's got like long hair, all sloppy. Police, just pointing a
Yeah.
gun.
And he almost shoots himself.
Well, and then
He's
the fact
Bro.
that he
boom, and shit.
opened the door, like, buddy,
Yeah,
come on
yeah. He
now.
opens the door to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the smartest, but like that death with the bees or the wasps or whatever.
I could have done without
I
that.
wasn't
That's what I'm saying. Like,
expecting that.
Well, I did when there's a big old wasp nest. Like,
No, but
okay,
I don't
something.
think I expected them to, like,
go
go
right into his
Oh,
mouth.
yeah.
right into his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I maybe expected,
Like
like,
Mummy.
them to attack him, and then he, like, gets out of the car.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was
You
a
know.
mummy scene where like the plague where they all go into his mouth and
Oh, sure. And then in this movie is like they're like eating his jaw, so it starts to come down.
they're
Like,
yeah.
you know, there's a couple things. I don't know, just all put together. I ended up giving it a 2.5, which isn't great. I don't think I'll ever see it again. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I think that brings us to our Commodus Scale. And what we think as far as thumbs up, even or down. Adrian, kick us off.
Thumbs
You're
up.
going thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Erica.
Just go like right in the middle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because like I wasn't like I'm glad I watched it at least once and got to see the movie, but I'm not gonna watch it again. And
Yeah.
was
I think because I went to go see Ash and was actually more disappointed by that, I'd go even on this one with the monkey. You know,
I'll make a quick statement because on Letterboxd, its average was 2.8. So I'd say we're right about there, right in the middle.
like our averages of what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't anything too original, you know. Just really quick to the ant. That's what I was gonna say. The ant death with the fire or whatever. Like, why would you even go to bend down in front of the burner in the first place?
To look at it, to hear if it's coming out.
Like, it's just it was like, all right, we got to wrap the movie up. Let's start getting more deaths. We'll do this. But anyways,
why run outside? So as soon as I saw that, I immediately thought of Home Alone 2, where
Sure.
the torch lights his head on fire. He's and he goes into the toilet and it's
Yes.
kerosene
Yeah,
and it blows up.
yeah.
Like she's running around like, what are you doing? Grab a towel. And like she runs straight into the the corner of the wood. Oh, it's perfect.
I think some of the editing was off on this too, because for example, that reminded me of the cannonball scene Erica was talking about, like when it shoots and then the reaction to, I think, Hal, like it was a weird cut, like it almost took away from like the impact. I don't know. For me, that like stood out to me where it was just a weird, it's like a weird kind of cut. Anyways,
but that's probably a hard edit because they're twins, but it's the same guy, you know, in the same scene. I don't know. I imagine it's hard to do, even with a body double, you know.
Nothing's easy in life, you know. Speaking of body double, what are some double feature recommendations you guys have for this movie? Erica, you kick us off.
No, because I still haven't thought up of one because you took mine.
No, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to the tape of last week where you said,
My
"This is why we're
God,
annoyed because
Michael,
we
we
come
were talking
prepared."
about the draft. First of all, we were talking about the fucking draft. It's completely different.
I say preparedness is different, guy.
The worst.
That's for calling me a little bitch in your audio message. Don't think I didn't forget.
I was in class. That's why. That's literally the only reason.
I could tell by the way you said it. You're like, "Hey, you're a little bitch."
I was in lab, and it was like not that it was long, but it was a lot of observation stuff. And you had like, I don't know, I don't even remember what you said. It was like something about my letterbox. And I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" I was so mad. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! I can't do it right now."
All right. Well, I'll be nice this time. You think about it, Adrian. What double feature do you have to recommend?
It's similar in the sense that, you know, this killer clown is tormenting these kids, and then, you know, 25 years later, that's the same, you know, terror tormenting them. So I think it's similar in the sense that this monkey would be like the killer clown from It. So yeah.
You know, I want to look it up first before I accuse you of doubling on It, because I'm thinking that you've picked It before. But
I think I mentioned it before, but I don't think
Might
I
have
don't
been
think
a
you're right.
monster draft.
I think it was the draft. Yeah. All right. You're off the hook. Good job.
You're off the hook. My goodness.
So I imagine you would mean the newer It. I think that's why I was thinking, because I asked you also last time, you drafting the newer It or the, yeah. So,
you know, I like the older It. I think mainly because of the character that played It, from Home Alone 2. Yeah, I just, the Grinch. I really appreciate him. And I think that movie was more like psychological, like a psychological horror. Then like the new one was more like actual
just
jump
trying to be
scares,
scary.
just like
yeah.
like terrifying looking at it, you know, where before it was just a creepy clown. Now it's like, no, that's a terrifying clown. It's a little different.
Yeah. It double feature with this. I mean, would you say to skip this movie or no? The monkey.
To skip this movie?
Like the monkey. Would you, like, because I was gonna say watch watch a double feature. You know what I
To
mean?
be honest, if I was telling somebody to watch The Monkey, I would tell them to watch Final Destination, then watch It, and then watch The Monkey. Because The Monkey is like if those two movies had a baby.
A trilogy. There it is. See, I just had to mine a little more, and that's exactly well put. Well put. Erica, you need more time for your double feature? Or?
No. I think I'm gonna go, and I have talked about this movie. I've obviously talked about this person. I've obviously drafted some other movies by him as well. But I'm gonna go with Nope by Jordan Peele. Now I did draft this for one of my drafts. I can't remember.
There you go, throwing your money again, huh?
But definitely is more of like in like the suspenseful like alien side of things. But I really enjoyed Nope. I feel like it really paid off in the end, like what we were looking at and how we kind of like think about alien life in general and stuff like that. And a great horror film, lots of spooky moments. So I'm gonna recommend that one instead. Good kills too. Good kills in that movie too.
Nope. I feel like I had high expectations, or I was really excited for it, and it's a very well shot movie. Like, it's obviously, Jordan Peele's a master of his craft, and you can see that. Is it his best movie? I still like Get Out more. I think
I
you
think it's
mentioned
his best movie, but I do enjoy it, and I
Yeah,
think paired with The Monkey, you can
yeah.
kind of get like the
I
dual.
see. I just thought of that scene while you're saying the monkey.
Where
I was
the
like,
chimpanzee actually kills everybody. Yeah.
Hey, spoilers for Nope if you haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
if you haven't
Holy
seen Nope,
smokes!
there is another killer chimp in that as
Yeah,
well. But
pretty
yeah,
pretty
that's
well done.
the reason.
Excellent. I'm going with Jumanji. Good old nice Jumanji. Robin Williams, David Allen Greer.
Oh wait, you're not going with The Rock and Kevin Hart?
Heck no. Come on, bro. I see what you're doing. Yeah, no, I mean, Jumanji is exactly what this movie is, as far as like a game coming to life. And they kept on going in this movie saying it's not a toy, it's the
Don't ever call it
devil.
that.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
ever call
call
it
it
that. And
that.
then like, you could call it a fucking toy. Like, calm down. But like Jumanji did, I think, a better job of bringing a world into our world. And does all of the CGI hold up? It did at the time. Those monkeys were pretty gnarly. There's
Yeah.
not
You know, I'm gonna have to rewatch Jumanji now that we say that, because I feel like they have that line in Jumanji where they like, "Hey, go grab the game. Don't call it a game. It's not a game." Like, I feel like they have that line somewhere in Jumanji
maybe it
where it's
doesn't.
not a game.
Maybe
I will tell
it,
you right now, I have seen that movie probably over 300 times in my life, and that is not a line that is said in that
right. I
movie.
don't think it is. Like, I
Have you seen
think
the new one with Kevin Hart and The Rock? Because it
I
might be in that one.
absolutely hate both of those people as
Yeah.
actors
See, so it might be in
and
one of
as
those.
human beings. So
Maybe.
yeah, I don't really
Maybe
support anything
it
they
would
do.
it would fit if it was in the newer ones. But yeah, Jumanji was a lot of fun. I think, especially after watching The Monkey, you want to have some fun. It's not like leaning into deaths by any mean. It's just straight out comedy. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, always. But that brings us to our exciting draft. Let me pull up our lovely wheel of cinema here. One thing I noticed too about this movie, we've been kind of on a streak now where I would say I feel good about any spot I get. You know what I mean? I think there's a good pick. There's plenty of options here, I think, for the
Yeah.
draft, is what I'm trying to say. But without further ado, let's
I
spin this
always
bad boy.
forget that Osgood Perkins is in Legally Blonde too.
You're right. All of a sudden, this guy complains that he doesn't get first, and now he's got it back to back times. Adrian with the first pick. Why did it not remove you? Let me get rid of you
Who
here.
got picked first for the draft? You did, huh, Michael?
Yeah, but we're talking.
So shut up.
That's a different way. That's a different wheel. Okay,
So
here we go.
shut
You know
up.
what?
I've got picked last like every single time.
Just for being smart,
Yeah.
I'm
See?
going.
Yeah, exactly. So
I guess I
suck
can
it.
pick. Wonderful. Okay, well, congratulations, Adrian. You get to draft someone from this movie first. Who you going
know
with?
who he's picking.
Who am I picking?
You're gonna pick Theo James.
No.
You're
No.
not. Wow.
I'm going with my heart, and I'm gonna go Adam Scott because
Nice.
Step Brothers. Ever since Step Brothers, like
I'm
he's
dead.
absolutely like one of my favorites. Like I think his singing scene in that was absolute comedy.
That's not his
And
voice.
oh, it's still perfect. It's still on point. Um, yeah, so he's been in a lot of good movies. He's also written movies. He's directed 2
Yeah.
movies. I definitely will take Adam Scott.
I can't even
Excellent
be
pick.
mad at you about that. I love Adam Scott. Parks and Rec
Yeah.
is like one of my absolute favorites.
Good pick. I'm glad he's off the board. Now to me, I don't think I'm going to take who Erica would want, so I'll let you have them. I'm actually going to go with Christian Convery, who is the kid who played Hal and Bill, the version of them. Looking at his resume so far, he's actually been in a lot of movies. Diary of the Wimpy Kid. He was in Descendants
Venom.
3, Venom, Cocaine Bear,
Cocaine Bear. Yeah.
Beautiful Boy, which is a very prestige movie. So
Do you think they're gonna
obviously,
come out with Cocaine Shark now that they found sharks off the coast of Mexico that had traces of cocaine in them?
I thought they were working on that. I'm surprised they didn't. Did
Great.
you guys see
You
Cocaine
mean
Bear?
I thought it was Heroin Shark.
No, it
Oh,
was
They
maybe.
just like
cocaine.
nod out as they're chomping on people.
No, there was a cocaine one, and then I don't remember if it was meth or heroin or what, but there were other sharks off the coast of Florida who had traces of drugs in them too.
I think it was amphetamines that
I
they
think
found
it
in them.
was amphetamine.
Like speed. Yeah, they were like speed sharks.
Fuck, dude.
That's great.
Only in
Okay.
Florida.
It's fair.
A lot of shit's happening in Florida for sure. So yeah, Christian Convery. I think it's hard anytime you have to play. We're talking about Split and what did we just watch that we just did? We're talking about like you have to play multiple characters. We just did an episode. What the
Theo
fuck?
James did that.
Oh
twin.
no.
Yeah, he did too.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
We
The point
did.
is,
We literally
we
just
did. We
talked
literally
about
just
it.
talked about it. What do we? What? Come on,
Oh
Adrian. You're gonna make me look at here. God
wait,
damn
I
it,
have our.
I'm cutting this out.
Let me see.
We just talked about it. What
We
did we
did.
watch? We've watched. So, full disclosure to our listeners, we've been recording.
Mickey 17. Oh my god.
Mickey 17. Good job. We've been recording a lot of episodes because I'm going to be unavailable for a couple weeks here. So
He's
it's all a
busy.
jumble.
He has
Yeah,
a
sorry.
life.
For once, man, I got to come out of my
It's
shell from
okay.
time
April
to time.
sucks for me too. I have a lot of shit going on.
So it works out. Okay, so that's my pick. Erica, whose stock would you like?
I absolutely love her. She's been in some shows that I've watched, sci-fi driven shows that I've like absolutely loved. I'm gonna go with Tatiana Maslany.
Wow, I had never seen her in anything before this.
She was in this show on Amazon Prime that had a lot of seasons on it that I had watched with my roommate a really long time ago. She is She-Hulk now.
Oh, she is She-Hulk. That's
Yeah,
who she
in the
is.
MCU. But she's been in a lot of like you'd be surprised on how much she's actually been in. You probably just don't recognize her.
Sure.
She got she got kind of big when she did Orphan Black. I don't know if that was the show she was on, but she's been in a lot of other stuff. So you probably she's a lot of like best friend characters.
She's been in 50 movies, but I've only seen 2% of her movies according to Letterboxd, so I wouldn't recognize her from anything.
Another perk of having Letterboxd, folks, you can see what the percentage of movies you've seen from an actor. I haven't seen any outside of The Monkey. I think that's the only movie of hers I've seen.
That's probably 2% of 50.
Yeah. Actually, you might be right. But that's not shitting on your pick, Erica. Because I think
yes, it is. Yes,
no, real talk. Because she's in the Marvel universe, she's gonna have work coming up regardless. Not even Marvel related, though. There are rumors she's coming.
I would
back.
say she's probably gonna be more successful in like the series. Like because of Marvel, like a Marvel series.
Yeah, well,
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. I mean, did you guys see She-Hulk?
I just watched some episodes, but yeah, Marvel and phase 4 of Marvel, we just don't talk about all of it.
Hey, you seen this? They announced a bunch of casting for Doomsday, the Avengers Doomsday movie. I don't know if you guys
actually
caught that.
think that some of it is a lie.
Oh,
So
let's
I
hear
don't know if you.
conspiracy.
No
Well,
propaganda.
I get
Conspiracy
I get
corner.
really
Propaganda.
into like because I don't know if you guys have like kept up with Marvel and stuff, but specifically Scarlet Witch, uh, Elizabeth Olsen's character, the way that they did Multiverse of Madness, and then the way that they did Agatha of Harkness, like, and all of that, and WandaVision, the teaser that they have is Robert Downey Jr. sitting in one of the actors' chairs going like
Right.
this, and it's an exact scene of Agatha in WandaVision going like
Doing that.
this on the thing. So I think that it's
For our listeners, like doing like a shush finger motion.
So for anybody who
Yeah.
can't see me, it's Robert Downey Jr. leaning over backwards over an actor's chair, and he's got his finger over his lips saying, shh, like, don't tell anybody about this. And I think it's in relation to that. So I think that they're giving us just enough to get us excited, but I think there's actually a lot more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
I
Like
mean, there's
a crazy
definitely
amount.
there has to be, because of like the
Yeah.
people they introduced are from like the old X-Men that we grew up with,
Yeah.
intermixed with like Thunderbolts, or that isn't
Yeah,
even out yet.
it's going to be way more overlap than I think
Yeah.
people are thinking. But
All that to say.
to get to that point of exposing the mutants in this universe, you need Wanda Maximoff for that to happen. You need the Scarlet Witch for that to happen, because that's how it happens in the comics.
On the count of 3, who is your favorite X-Men? 1,
Wait.
2.
Wait, like mutant or favorite X-Men?
In the X-Men universe, like you could pick a villain, for example. Yeah.
Thanks.
1, 2, 3. Nightcrawler.
Oh, we all have different ones.
Wait, who did you say, Erica?
Mystique.
Mystique. Okay,
So
really?
I'm your mama.
Mystique.
Nightcrawler's
Wow.
mom.
Yeah, deep cut. Anyways, we're getting off track here of wrapping up the monkey. But any other thoughts about this movie?
If you want something entertaining, like if you want something kind of like, not quite like Adrian was saying, not quite horror, I mean, it is based on a horror book and there are horror aspects of it, but it was definitely more of a fun movie than anything. So if you're looking for that,
If you want a
give it a watch.
multicast second screen.
Yeah, this is a great, like, let's put it on the TV and we're washing dishes and we're looking, and yeah. I was crocheting.
hey,
For sure, it was a good movie to watch while you're driving. I think so.
Thank you guys for listening. We're getting out of here on that note. You can find all of our content on seeingthispod.com, and you can also follow us on all of our socials, Seeing This Pod. Next episode that's coming out for you guys is a bonus episode where we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie. It'll be a good episode. Make sure to follow that. Available on Disney Plus if you want to rewatch or watch for the first time, and then tune into our podcast.
Goofy laugh again.
It's something that you can't do on command. It's like, but you gotta tune. How about this? There's a Goofy laugh in the episode that you gotta tune in for.
Fair.
No.
I don't even
Take
remember
that
when
soundbite
the
and
episode
reuse
that
it all you want.
happened too.
That one wasn't as good. See, that one wasn't as good.
No, it
Thank
wasn't.
you guys for listening. We'll see you on the next episode. Gosh.